And now to gold, which hit a record high earlier, sparked by those rising tensions in the Middle East and increasing prospects of the Fed lowering rates in September. Gold's on pace for its fifth straight positive day. It's giving producers like Alamos a boost. The company also reporting strong second quarter results after the bell yesterday. Shares up fractionally. Here first on CNBC is John McCluskey, president and CEO of Alamos Gold. John, welcome to you.
Thank you very much.
What would you say is driving the price of gold higher now?
Well, it's all year long. It's been central bank buying, largely driven out of Asia. I think now that you've got heightened tensions in the Middle East, I think all of that is playing a role. I also think as more and more news comes out about the U.S. debt and deficit and so forth, as we're into the late stage of the election cycle, there's more discussion about that, and I think that's giving particularly American investors pause and giving some consideration to gold and gold equities.
Why are central banks buying gold?
I think it was driven, I think the catalyst was really the Russian invasion of the Ukraine and the resulting move by the West to effectively seize Russian assets. And when that was sort of picked up in the world, there was this sense that the West could effectively use economic coercion to essentially dictate to other countries how they're supposed to behave, and they didn't like that, and so they started selling U.S. dollars and buying gold. I think it was a big part of it.
John, I'm curious as we sort of talk about the price of gold breaking up. A lot of people are surprised. I myself was when I remember kind of bouncing along in the 2010s and not doing much. I mean, it really has outperformed the S&P since the turn of the century. What do you think would have to happen to drive that continued outperformance, though? Especially, let's say, somehow the U.S. gets its arms around the debt and deficit dynamics. Is it slowing growth? Is it, lower real interest rates? What's the most important catalyst?
It's interesting that you point this out, that you've looked at gold over the long term, because, you'll probably agree that most people look at commodity trading over the very short term, and they look at gold as a commodity, and that's the way it was certainly characterized through the latter part of the 20th century and into the 2010s, and yet we saw a lot of economic upheaval in the world, the big crash in 2008 and what has happened in the aftermath of that. And lately, it's been growing debt right around the world, and particularly driven by very strong U.S. debt accumulation. And, when you consider all of that, people started to think about gold in more traditional terms. And in a more traditional sense, gold is money. It is the fundamental money. It's been money since humans, figured out how to trade with each other. So, I think that there is a very worrying theme at play here, and that is, the politicians starting to talk about, Washington starting to talk about, the U.S. debt approaching $35 trillion and growing by $1 trillion every 100 days or so. These are astronomical numbers, and I think these are the kind of things that get people to look at gold.